Guys, bear with me because I actually already recorded this, and then I realized that for some reason the audio was not recorded, so I'm gonna have to just do it all over again. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys how what's my process, right? How do I actually do my own EKG interpretation? And really, I do the same thing that I taught you guys. I follow each step. The first step would be to look at the rhythm and determine if it's regular or irregular. And so it's hard for me to show it here because I'm just showing you my screen. But typically what I do is I get calipers and basically measure the distance from here to here, right? Just making sure they're consistent. Another way is to use a piece of paper and align it with the QRS and mark that piece of paper, and then I'll move that piece of paper and just make sure that whenever I move it, right, those lines that I marked on that paper actually align with the QRS, the tip of the QRS. So that's how I determine if it's regular. Now, because I'm showing you guys my screen, it's gonna be hard for me to show that. So another method would be to count the boxes in between each QRS and just kind of compare it. So what I'm going to do is usually like to mark here, right, the tip of the QRS. Mark there. And then now I'm going to count all the boxes from there, right, from this side to the other side. And so basically you can do a couple of things, right? You count each small box independently. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Or another easy way is, I did that individually, right? Or you can really just assume, right, that each big box has 5 boxes. So I can just count the big boxes. 1, 2, 3. Right, there's 3 big boxes, and then, so 3 big boxes, which is 5 small boxes, plus 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically, it's 19 over here. Now I'm going to do the same thing here, just to make sure that it's regular, right? So there should be the same space in between each QRS if they are regular. So on this one, same thing again. If I'm going to count each one, all the way to the other side, there are 19 boxes. So that tells me that this is regular. So I'm just going to write regular. Now I'm going to determine the rate. So my go-to is usually the 6-second strip just because it's easier and it's faster. And I literally count the big boxes. So how many big boxes are there, right? We need to have 30 big boxes in order to have a 6-second strip. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Well, unfortunately, I can't use the 6-second method just because I don't have enough, right? So sometimes we may print our EKG strips and maybe we cut it too early, so we don't have that full 6-second, so we can't use that method. Well, my other option would be the 1500 method. And how do we do that again? Well, we do it by looking at the QRS, right? Let me just erase this just to kind of avoid getting myself more confused. And so what I'm going to do, similar thing to what I did, right? I'm going to mark this, right? And I'm going to count the boxes in between here. The good thing is I already counted it, right? I know that there are, right, 19 small boxes. So knowing that, I'm going to take 1500 divided by 19, which gives me 78.95 and something. But it needs to be in whole number. So I'm going to round it to the nearest whole number, which is 79 beats per minute. So that's going to be my rate. Next, I'm going to measure my PRI. So measuring the PRI, I have to measure the beginning of P, right, to the beginning of the QRS. So it's going to be right here, right before it drops. And I'm going to count how many boxes are in between, right? So there's 3. 1, 2, 3. So 3 times 0.04, which are the small boxes, right? That would be 0.12. All right, well, next, I want to look at my QRS. So I'm just going to erase this just because I want to use the same one. So to measure my QRS, I want to start right here where it starts, right? This part right here. Oh, sorry, it's going to be hard to... Let me make it a little larger. There we go. So I'm going to start right here. And then I'm going to look at this and I'm going to follow my QRS. So this is my QRS. So I'm going to end here. And this is right where the directions start changing. So this is where I'm going to end. So halfway through this box. So I usually would write. Oh, man. So hard to write on the iPad. So because it's right in the middle, right? So now I'm going to measure how many boxes are in between this. So this is one box, right? This is the second box, and this is half a box. So I'm going to use 2.5 and multiply it by 0.04. Now I have 0.10. Now it's time to measure my QTI. Let me just find a better one here. I like to use the complexes that are a little bit more right there in the line, so it's easier to measure. So looking at this, I can use this for my QTI. So again, we're going to measure the QTI by measuring the beginning of the QRS, so this one right here, to the end of my T wave. So from here, right? And so I'm going to count the boxes again. So there's 1 box, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right? There's 10 small boxes there. So my QTI would be 10 times 0.04. I have 0.40. Now I'm going to look at the ST. So how do I do that? So first, I'm going to look at my isoelectric line, which is the baseline, right? And I'm going to compare my ST segment over there, right? So the best way to do it is to draw a line. Oops. So draw a line straight here, right? Now you're going to compare that line that you drew to this, right? Where your ST is at. Well, this one is obviously elevated, right? So it's at least 1 box, and this is more of almost 3 boxes, right? So if you look at this, how far it is from the line that I made, right? That tells me that this is elevated. And so I'm just going to put ST elevation. Now it's asking if there's any abnormal or ectopic beat. Looking at this, right, all of them are uniform. Nothing is odd, right? Everything looks kind of the same. They all look the same, so that tells me there's really no ectopic beats. So there's none. And then now I can do my full EKG interpretation. So first, I always start with the pacemaker, knowing that I have a P wave, right? It's a sinus rhythm, right? So it's sinus, right? Sinus rhythm. And then I'm going to put the rate at 79 beats per minute. And then anything abnormal with ST elevation. You can do an arrow, or you can even say the actual word elevation. And so that would be my final interpretation. Notice that some people actually do their interpretation this way. And if you do this way, I'm okay with that. I'll still mark you correct. So some people would say sinus rhythm with or with ST elevation at 79 beats per minute. The most important part is you cover everything, right? You need to kind of tell us, the pacemaker, the rate, and any abnormality. So it needs to be a complete interpretation. Anyhow, I hope this helps. Please let me know if you have any questions, any concerns. Please schedule to meet with me one-on-one if you want to do that. Because I know sometimes learning how to interpret EKG can be a little bit overwhelming, and sometimes a one-on-one can actually help you better than doing it as a group. Anyhow, I hope this helps. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.